Yo, welcome in everybody. Hello, we're here today for another part of the tutorial. This is going to be an advanced movement guide. We are on controller. As you know, Naraka has gone free to play as well as PS5 release, so it's amazing to see so many new players on the battlefield. What we're out here today to talk about is how to move a little more freely within the game. And so let's start off. We already know, if you watched the last tutorial, how to dodge and how to hold focus to get more speed, right? We even talked about hold focus, let off attack, and dodge again for a little extra distance. What could be happening to some people is that they're trying to move and they're moving too quick and they're burning all their stamina. Then you get to this point and you have no stamina left. You have to go from here, you have to kind of slow things down a little bit, right? Let it draw out. So we're going to go ahead and hold that charge, release, charge, hold, release, dodge, hold, release, dodge, hold, release, dodge. And see, there we were able to go a lot farther on that little bit of stamina that we had. So those are going to be some tips, is now that you've got all this, you know, that you're really practicing and that's coming together with your movement, you might end up being able to get a little bit more out of your stamina. Alright, so now that we're over here, we're going to talk about different terrains and how to move on different terrains. There's some benefits. We went over on cylinders and trees, things like poles. It's going to shoot you upwards versus a scale rush, right, with a horizontal charge. You're going to have to go charge all the way to blue focus in order to scale rush off those things. But there is a cool tip that you might not realize. When you grab the tree and you shoot up, you don't have to grab the tree again and continue to go up. So you can jump, go up, and dodge, and that could give you a lot of potential to reach new heights, right? We're gonna go up, up, dodge. Now we're over here, all from the safety of this tree. Alright, so what else we can talk about is on trees. There's all different kinds of branches and levitation within the trees at times. That's going to allow you to immediately scale rush. So we're on the tree, but we can immediately scale rush. And that's because my character hit a terrain that put her into this crouch position. So you see now how I'm automatically crouched? I haven't entered crouch. This means that I can scale rush from this position. Now, if I land on this tree, here I am not crouched. So I cannot scale rush here. This would just make me do a regular dagger charge or weapon charge. Let's say I have a longsword. This would not let me to scale rush. You can find that there's positions, where your character is going to lock in like that, right? So you can find, if you know your terrain, places where you can immediately scale rush off of your trees, or things that you wouldn't normally be able to. So here on a roof is another good example. If you hit the edge here, you can immediately scale rush, right? And so that's going to let you move a little more freely around the battlefield. Is experience and time is going to help you be able to kind of pick apart your terrain and go, what can I move on more freely than other things, right? And hopefully that gives you an advantage over or against your opponent. So I'm gonna have a video too where I talk about movement within battle, right? And movement that's really gonna help you do a lot more inside of this battle or advantage state that we're going to talk about, right? Because there's neutral state and you still have to win neutral here, but there's a whole thing that we're going to go over, and that's all in the battle video. So some movement we're going to cover there when it comes to like combat. We're talking about general movement, how to maximize your stamina today, and how to kind of guarantee more of a reset if that's what needs to happen. So first tip too is going to be, if you're moving away from your opponent, right? You're going to want to break line of sight. So if I'm over here and I'm moving into this area, which is a diverse terrain, but I have an opponent right behind me, the first thing I want to do is get to the closest object and break line of sight, right? So now that we've done that, you can choose to scale rush, move into a different position. You can go around a corner and turn back around on them, so on and so forth. You know, the path you choose is up to you. One of the big reasons that we're incorporating scale rushing into our movement so much is because it doesn't cost any mana to do this. So we cover all that area without any stamina taken. When it comes to not getting staggered, I think that's a question that a lot of people ask all the time. Like, how do I not get staggered? That's going to be holding focus. And that holding focus, we're going to talk about again in the combat video, the advanced combat video. And we went over before in our basic combat video. But that's also going to prevent you from getting staggered outside of combat. So when you're running around, not only are you holding focus to maximize your stamina, but you're also holding focus to not get grappled or staggered by their grapples. So you kind of have to use your audio cues and your timing to understand when they're going to try to throw a grapple at you. If you have one person chasing you, if you have two people chasing you, and you're trying to get from here to this cover, right? You're going to want to hold focus as long as possible versus trying to, I would say, just move over as much as possible or as quick as possible. That focus is going to prevent you from getting staggered, and you're going to have to time a good dodge when they come at you. Let's talk about aerial movement a little bit. So once we go up in the air, we know that we can hold focus and prevent from getting staggered by doing a dodge and charging a focused attack. So that could come in handy when, again, you're trying to get away from your opponent. If someone's in the middle of you and your team, you need to get over to your team. Okay, so let's go over this, which is charging focus in the air. I don't believe we went over this, and we just mentioned it. So all you have to do is, after a scale rush, a grapple, or even some skills that will put you into the air, you need to dodge at the height of your jump and then hold a horizontal or vertical charge depending on the weapon that you're using. That can allow you to get a good sneak attack as well as not get staggered mid-air when you're trying to move around. Also, a cool technique that you can do is while sliding, you can grapple at the same time. So that's like a really confusing technique. A lot of people want to jump when they grapple. A lot of people will grapple from the ground purely. But when you've already entered an animation and you are able to grapple from a slide, it's kind of a cool technique that you can use to not have to wait until you jump from that slide and take that extra time. So you can boom, grapple from a slide. Take into consideration you are moving away or from your target. So if I'm grappling towards this wall and I do it, it's quicker than if I grapple away and do it, because I'm traveling away from the wall at the same time. So things like that you want to keep in mind. Okay, let's talk about eaves and flat surfaces. So flat surfaces are going to scale rush you a little bit shorter of a distance than grabbing an eve will. And we've also got some cool information about the eaves and the walls, the differences there that are coming out in the battle video. So be sure to watch that. It's been an awesome time talking with you guys today. So many new faces, everything from the category, the game itself, the community, the new updates have been fantastic. It's a great time to join the game. I can't wait to continue to meet so many cool people. I've been a top ranked controller player on PCNA for the last couple years, and it's awesome to share my knowledge with you guys and to talk about these things. I hope you're able to move a little bit quicker, and I'll see you out there and on the next video. Have a good day. Peace.